Hello dear students. Today we are going to see chapter number 1 from the Mathematics Grade 9 CBSE. This is a new syllabus of 2026-27 and the chapter number 1 is Orienting Yourself, the Use of Coordinates. And the name of the book is Ganita Marjari. Let's understand some of the questions from chapter 1, which is your textbook questions explains. Let's see question number 1. What are the x-coordinate and y-coordinate of the point of intersection of the two x's? Now here when we understand the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate, students, you need to remember the intersection of the two x's is being asked. So x-axis, that is y is equal to 0, and y-axis x is equal to 0, which you have to remember and you will be using it for further questions. Now when we understand this part, that is the origin. Now what is origin here? That is the intersection point, which is the origin. Now what is the origin? Where the horizontal and the vertical axis they meet, and that point is termed as the origin, which is denoted by 0, 0. So that's your intersection point. So this is question number 1. Now let's understand question number 2. Point W has x coordinate equal to -5. Can you predict the coordinates of point H, which is on the line through W parallel to the y-axis? Which quadrants can H lie in? Now here, if you see children, what exactly is given? Now if you look at the screen, you will find there are 4 quadrants. That is quadrant number 1, 2, 3 and 4. So these are termed as quadrants. Now point W has x coordinate which is equal to -5. So now here when we see the x coordinate equal to -5, so we have taken it here. You can see the blue line. You can even draw it on -5 as well. So since W has x coordinate -5, so any point on the line through W parallel to the y-axis will have x coordinate -5. So it's not necessary that you have to draw only on -5. So therefore the coordinates of point H will be of the form -5 and y. Now please remember, this is your x coordinate equal to -5. So we will be considering y can be of any real number. Hope this point is clear to everyone. Now going further, we understand from this figure, they have asked, what exactly they have asked? Can you predict the coordinate of point H, which is on the line through W, which is parallel to which axis? Parallel to y-axis. So it's on the second quadrant. So if y is greater than 0, H will lie where? It will be in the second quadrant. And if suppose y is less than 0, that means H it lies in the quadrant number 3. And when it is equal to 0, it lies on the negative x-axis. So where is H point here? So H can lie in quadrant number 2, quadrant number 3, or on the negative x-axis. Please understand, it has been asked that which quadrants can H lie. And related to what you have to predict the coordinates of point H, that you can see on the pink line, which is on the second and the third quadrant. I hope this point, question number 2 is clear to you. Let's understand question number 3. Consider the points R, A, M and P. If they are joined in the same order, you need to predict point 1. Question number 1, 2 sides of RAMP that are perpendicular to each other. Second will be parallel to one of the axes. And third is 2 points that are mirror images of each other in one axis. Which axis will this be? Now plot the points and verify your prediction. So very important children, you need to understand. First you need to write down what is given. All the coordinates you need to write down. Then first part tells us that we need to find out where they are perpendicular sides. So let's take for the perpendicular sides, we take RA. The coordinates are RA, R and A. And what formula have we used here for slope? As I have already explained earlier, it is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So we consider these coordinates as x1 y1 and x2 y2. So when you calculate, you will get the slope cancelling minus from both sides. We get 2 upon 3. Let's take the other coordinates m and p. Now what do you notice in this? Now if you see here that minus 5 and minus 5, that means the x coordinates are same. Can you see that? X and x is same. But there is one thing, the numbers are same, but for the y, it is opposite y. So that is what? It is mirror about x axis. Let's take question number 2. Part 2, parallel to x. Now for this, again, if we understand a and m, children, you need to follow the coordinates. So let's take a and m. Now here if you see, y is what? Minus 2, which is horizontal. Y is minus 2, it is horizontal. So it will be parallel to x-axis. Now you might wonder how it is parallel to x-axis. I'll quickly explain you. This is your y-axis. And this is your x-axis. Here it is positive and here it is negative. So let's assume that y minus 2 is here. Okay. Now if you draw a line on this graph, I'll use the other color. If I draw the line here, what do you get? It is parallel to what? It is parallel to x-axis. Hope this part is clear to you. Next is the mirror images. Now for the mirror images, again if you take m and p, minus 5, minus 2, and again minus 5 and 2. So it is same x but opposite y. So it is mirror about x-axis. Let's understand question number 4. Plot point z 5, minus 6 on the Cartesian plane. Construct a right angle triangle IZN and find the length of the three sides. Now, comment is also mentioned in the question that answers may differ from person to person. Now, look at this graph, children. You have to plot a point Z, which is 5, minus 6. Now, if you see here, we have constructed a right angle triangle, which is I, Z, and N. If you see this triangle, right? Now here if you find for Z, you need to plot first. We need to plot the points, which is 5 minus 6. And then origin, as you know, what is the origin? It is 0, 0. So when you draw the line, it will be perpendicular to the x-axis. So you get 5, 0. Now why 5, 0? Because 5 is x and 0 is y. Because it is lying on which axis? X-axis. As we have done it in the first question, when it is x-axis, so y will be 0. So what are the vertices we got here? That is I, 0, 0. Z we got as 5 minus 6 and N is 5, 0. Now what is the question? Let's read it again. You need to find the lengths of the three sides. So after constructing the right angle triangle, what we have to do, let's take IN. Now it's in horizontal, so you can even calculate like 5 minus 0, that is 5 units. So that is horizontal x-axis. Now next is N and Z. So for N and Z, what we do, it is vertical. So it is 0 minus 6 upon 5 upon 5. So basically you have to take only the y-axis. So you get what? 0 minus 6, that is 6 units. So 0 plus 6 is 6. Now we are left with I and Z. Now it is an hypotenuse. Now if you see which formula we have used here, we have used the distance formula. Okay, now what is the distance formula? It is x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. So when you calculate, you will get root 61. If you want, you can just leave it here, or it can be calculated further by writing 7.81 units. So what is the right angle here? Right angle at N, which is 5, 0. And what are the side lengths we got? We got it as 5, we got 6 and root 61. I hope this question is clear to you students. You just have to pause the video, plot the points, plot the graph, draw the triangle, and I'm very sure all the steps which are there in this question will make sense, because this type of question are extremely important. So we got the sides 5, 6 and root 61. Let's understand question number 5. What would a system of coordinates be like if we did not have negative numbers? Would the system allow us to locate all the points on a 2D plane? Now the question is without negative numbers. So if it exists, okay, they have given us what would a system of coordinates be like. So without negative numbers, only first quadrant exists. Now you might wonder why first quadrant. You can refer the graph, children, from your previous questions. First quadrant includes only the positive numbers. Then it cannot represent full plane. That means you cannot plot all the quadrants. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. So you cannot represent full plane. So what would be our answer? No, you cannot locate all points. Hope this part is clear to you. Let's go to question number 6. Are the points M, A and G on the same straight line? Okay, now the coordinates are given to us. You need to suggest a method to check this without plotting. Children, please remember they have told us without plotting and joining the points. So which method do we use here? We need to use slope method. So write down the steps, write down all the coordinates. And what is the slope here? Let's understand the slope. Again, y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. I'll quickly write this down so that it will be easy for you to plot, to jot it down. So we have 0 plus 4 upon 0 plus 3. We got 4 upon 3. Likewise, you have to take the other coordinates A and G using the same method, finding the slope. Now here if you see, by using y2 minus y1 is equal to x2 minus x1, using this formula we got slope as for MA is 4 upon 3, for slope for AG we got 4 upon 3. So that means what? Slopes are equal. If it is equal, so we term it as it is collinear. Hope that point is clear to you. Before we go on to the next question, students, I just want to tell you the word collinear, which was used in the previous question. When we say collinear, collinear means they all lie on the same line. Question number 7. Use your method from problem number 6, that is your previous question, to check if the points R, B and C are on the same straight line. Now plot both sets of points and check your answers. Let's understand this. Can you see the graph on the screen, children? These are all the graph or the points which you have to, coordinates which you need to plot. So if we see point R, it is minus 5 minus 1. Then B is minus 2 minus 5. For C, 4 minus 12. Now if you actually see, they all are, could you see that orange line? They all are on the same line. Students, please, you need to plot the graph very carefully and neat and tidy. That is required for your board exams. Now, you need to plot both set of points and check your answers. Children, the coordinates from the previous question, you have to plot it. So you see this blue line, so you can note down those coordinates as well and plot it on the graph, which is on your screen. You can pause it for a while and then you can continue. Let's understand question number 8. Using the origin as one vertex, plot the vertices of a right-angled isosceles triangle, and the second one you have to plot is an isosceles triangle with one vertex in quadrant 3 and the other in quadrant 4. Students, you need to remember the quadrants, okay? So for the first one, you simply have to draw a right-angled isosceles triangle, and the second one an isosceles triangle with quadrant 3, and the other will be in the quadrant 4. Let's quickly see the graph. So you see the graph on the screen here. We have the origin as one vertex, this one. If you see, this is the origin as we have done it in the previous question, that horizontal and the vertical where they intersect, that is the origin. So for the right angled isosceles triangle, so here if we have seen there are two triangles. One is the first one is this one, and the second isosceles triangle with vertex in the third quadrant, and the other one is in the fourth quadrant. So you will find the isosceles triangle here. So these are the two triangles which you have to draw by taking the common vertex. So you have to use these coordinates and likewise have to draw the figure. Before we understand students question number 9, just wanted to tell you for the previous question, question number 8, you can use any type of coordinates or any such coordinates, but only see to it that all the conditions satisfy by making the triangle. Let's see question number 9. The following table shows the coordinates of points S, M and T. In each case, state whether M is the midpoint of segment ST. Justify your answer. Now here if you see, they have given different coordinates. Students, I'm extremely sorry for the font which is very small, so you can zoom it a bit so that you can understand the coordinates. For your reference, if you can even refer your textbook, because this is your textbook question number 9. So for SMT and M is, now they have asked us that whether M is the midpoint. Now to find out the midpoint, whether it is, we need to find out, like S is given minus 3, 0 and T is 3, 0. So to find out the midpoint, that is M, we use the formula. So for the midpoint, what do? We always take x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Likewise, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Okay. So now if this is x1, y1, we consider this as x1, y1, and this is x2, y2. So we do x1 plus x2, that is minus 3 plus 3. So it will give you what? I'm doing the first one so that you will understand how to solve the other. Minus 3 plus 3 upon 2. And the second will be y1 plus y2, that is 0 plus 0 upon 2, that will give you 0. So our coordinate is what? 0, 0. So is it a midpoint? Yes, it is a midpoint. Likewise, you can solve the second, third and the fourth by using the formula x1 plus x2 upon 2 and y1 plus y2 upon 2. Let's take question number 10. Use the connection you found to find the coordinates of B, given that M is minus 7, 1 is the midpoint of A, 3, minus 4 and B, x, y. Now, what are the coordinates given, students? You need to just mention the coordinates. For M, it is minus 7, 1. For A, 3, minus 4. And B is x, y. Now, here, if you understand it, as I have explained to you from the previous question, that for the midpoint, we always take x1 plus x2 upon 2. Now, to find the coordinates of B, which is given that M is given and then the point A and B is given. So what you have to do for that, they have already given us the midpoint. So we consider minus 7 as 1, minus 7, which is equal to midpoint of A and B. Now for A and B, if we consider, children, I'll quickly explain you on this side so that you understand how we got this 3 plus x. As I told you, if I write this as A and use the other part, this is A and this end is B. And what is the midpoint here? Midpoint is M, and the coordinates of midpoint is given to us, that is minus 7 and 1. And what is the coordinate for A given? That is also you can write it down, that is 3, minus 4. What about B? B is given x comma y. Okay, so you don't worry. Only we need to understand for the midpoint, the coordinate is already given. So if we consider as -7 as is actually your x, so -7 is equal to, what is the formula? x1 plus x2, that is 3 plus x upon 2. So you will get the value of x, which is -17. Now for again the 1 is your y. So 1 will be equal to y1 plus y2 upon 2. So when you will solve this, you will get y as 6. So what is our coordinate here? So our coordinate is 6 and -17. So you need to write as x and y form, never as yx. Please remember, it is always xy. Never it is yx. Please remember this, children. Don't ever make this mistake. The ordered pair, it is termed as ordered pair. So it is always x and y. So we got the coordinate. It is -17, 6. I hope this question is clear to you. Let's understand question number 11. Let PQ be points of trisection of AB with P closer to A and Q closer to B. Using your knowledge of how to find the coordinates of the midpoint of a segment, how would you find the coordinates of P and Q? Do this for the case where the points are A and B. Let's understand this question. So what is given here? You have given the coordinates A and B. P and Q, they divide AB into 3 equal parts. Students, it is mentioned trisection, so that means it is into 3 parts. When it is bisection, then it is into 2 parts. P is closer to A and Q is closer to B. So we already know that midpoint, it divides the line into how many parts? 2 equal parts. But here we have how many parts? We have 3 parts. So P divides AB into the ratio 1:2. Very important, you need to understand. And likewise, Q divides AB in the ratio of 2:1. So for a point dividing a line in the ratio m:1, now this is about your section formula. Now here if you see that the line, I'll quickly draw this line, that means it is divided into 3 parts. So if it says that AB, P divides AB in the ratio 1:2. So at one point of time, you're going to take 1 and these 2 lines. Then you have to take the one part here and then the other 2 lines. So that is divided into 1:2 and then 2:1. So for a point dividing a line in the ratio m:1, which formula do we use? It is called section formula. This is your section formula and we use m and n. What is m and n? These are the ratio. Okay, m and n is basically the ratio and your x and y, that is your coordinate. So you have to remember these formulas, children, which are utterly important. So let's continue with the same question. So what is the step 1? You have to find the coordinates of P. The ratio is, again, it is divided into 3. So the ratio first one will be 1:2. And you have to calculate. Now here putting the calculation one, you need to be very careful how to use the formula and substitute. So I have used this formula by using ratio 2:1 and 1:2 here and you get the final answer. But students, after explaining you these formulas and the section formula, you will be finding one more video which is related to how to solve these formulas so that you understand how to substitute the values for the section formula, for midpoint formula, that will be uploaded soon so that your basics and your concept is clear. So thank you so much, students. In this video from the chapter number 1, Orienting Yourself, the use of the coordinates, question number 1 to 11 was discussed. And I'm sure the points and the steps which have been discussed are clear to you. For the next video, the same chapter, part 2 video, question number 12 to 16 will be discussed and uploaded soon. followed by chapter number 2, which is Introduction to Linear Polynomials. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more helpful lessons coming in near future. Thank you so much. God bless you all and take good care.